along with Joy, Lisa, who are presenting today, Sasa, our peer advisor, Mingnan, who is unfortunately not able to join our sessions this week. We are group 3. Okay, so next slide, please. Me, Joy, and Lisa will be talking about the parts as listed in order. So let's quickly jump into the problem statement. Problem statement, the background. Okay, the topic in the background. So next slide, please. Okay, so about the topic. Today, we are putting our emphasis on the loneliness issues people face in times of COVID-19. This is a topic that largely discusses mental aspects, instead of typically focusing on physical or material sides. So, generally speaking, during the time of the pandemic, the face-to-face communications have greatly diminished in number. And there were times when it got almost close to zero. And currently, even video chatting cannot substitute for previous methods, which is meeting one another in person, just not even close. And this brought about the difficulties for those who had a hard time adapting, hence being prone to psychological stress issues. And speaking into more detail, I would like to make an example. If the individuals who have been living under the same roof, which normally are family members, but yeah, they can be just roommates, that have been in a state that is with disharmony among each other. Now, in times of the pandemic, together with, I will refer to it as citizen grounding policies, or just a massive lockdown, the residents mentioned above have no choice but to stay together in the same place 24/7, which for sure increases the chance of seeing each other, perhaps even forced to start talking to one another after like years having been on non-speaking terms, which is basically avoiding each other. In that case, the existing friction is bound to increase, causing tremendous pressure to the parties concerned, and growingly greater than it already was. Next slide, please. So, talking about the background. As we were doing a lot of research, we found that the college students in USST, which is the University of Shanghai for Science and Technology, and the FJCU, the Fujian Catholic University, we found that the students there are suffering from loneliness issues in times of COVID-19. Due to the pandemic, excuse me, students have been socially disconnected from each other, which is currently having a significant and negative impact on their mental health, causing them to feel lonely. Hence, we, Group 3, are planning to provide a two-way interactive solution through building an application in a time frame of 5 to 6 months. We divided the time frame into 3 phases. First, we are going to spend about 50 to 60 days, which is approximately 2 months, to try and have an MVP, not the most valuable player, but the minimum viable product. Secondly, we are going live and starting to reach out to the target audiences, which will be 61 to 150 days. So that's 5 months spent. And last but not least, we are going to take the last month to observe the involvement and measure the success, which is minimizing their loneliness. And I know that some of you may be thinking that we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we even have LinkedIn, or we have Tinder, we have Bumble, we have OkCupid, Match.com, or even Grindr. But our app does not have this is a little bit biased, but Superficial swipe right for like and swipe left for dislike. So let's have Joy and Lisa talk you guys into, oh, this app is gonna turn out great. Handing to you, Joy.
Okay, is it clear? No?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So someone because sorry. We'll show someone who like to socialize with others, but because of some reason they don't do social activity as usual. For those people, we set up this application. Next. We will help user to find someone who also feel lonely immediately and accompany them. Will and in our way, we will let the user don't feel very unsafety because we will do the authentication and let them keep anonymous to share the name they feel comfortable with. For the authentication, it's for keeping the safety in the application, because if they don't have the authentication, maybe someone may um, do some bad thing or illegal thing and don't need to pay the responsibility. And why is privacy in here is very important, because actually it's just like people used to do in normal life, like going to the restaurant and having the eating activity, like eating lunch, eating dinner with someone they don't know. It's just a company. People stay with each other and do the same thing. And so we will categorize the room we set up by the interest and activities. Next. And this is our initial model of our application. For the front page of it is our app name called Eliop. We have a slogan, a new normal we living. Because we just like to do, the reason we choose a company is because we think that is the thing we used to do in the normal life. We don't need to have a very deep connection with everyone we meet. We just want to stay together. We need to see the people who do the same thing. And after you log in the application, we will have the daily activity. It's some information bulletin and let you have some guide to do today in the application. And for the left is the main page of it. Next page. This is some guide for it. For the upper for the for the card is information card is the thing we can see first. There are some solutions for feeling better when the people feel loneliness, or some knowledge about mental health. Like here, I take an example for like fill your house with sound. It's one example, and I will tell you what will if we press next page. So we'll talk about other function. Wait, back. Okay. And our right is about our setting as every application will have, and left is because we don't really want people to have a very deep connection. So it's only for the personal use to in the laptop. We don't have the message function. It's just post you set up the following the room you are following and some tips you have set. Also, because we will have some post in some place. I will talk next. And so you can have some collection of those posts and also some notice if we have sent to user. And if you press the top of the application, you will come back to home whenever you are. And under it, there's a live chat room. Now we are thinking of maybe it's just tech text text way of the chat room because of the technical problem. But in the future, we really hope to have the what's wrong? We really hope to have the webcam and sound function in the future. And also under it, it will be some wall of friend, and maybe we also think of maybe we can put the interest way for them to add the new room. And because the room cannot be too many people at the same time, so we will set up the 20 people as a maximum, and you need to be 10 people want to interesting in that room, and that room will be available. And the reason why we choose those color under it is because those are the a simple they have some simple of the accompany and feel cure and relax. Next. And the left part is about when you press into the information card, it will give you some detail of the knowledge or some tips. And you can press some sort or save it in the collection, and you can see it again. And for this part, we also can trying to find out if this is useful for the user or if it's interesting for the user and can make us improve. And at the right part is for the wall of friend part. If you go login up, if you press into it, and in this part you can show off some sentence you like. It's like I like shrimp fried rice or anything you want to say, and it will it will show up as 1 week, and after 1 week you can choose to post again or just leave it there because you don't want to let everyone to know too much about you. We only want to show we are stay together, we are do something together. Next. Oh, so next comes to this part. And she will talk about our plan. And Lisa, your slide has disappeared.
Yeah, all right. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. This do not exist. All right.
Maybe I will show for you.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to talk about our execution in 4 aspects: product, price, place, and promotion. As for our products, there are 4 steps for us to really make it come to realistic. And the first step is prototype design. According to the defined requirements, the product manager plans the function of the application, design the pages and the layout, design the jump logic of each page, and finally outputs the prototype design drawings of each page of the application. I think we already finished this. And the second step is UI design. It carries out the color matching and the design of the UI interface according to the prototype page. And it comes to the third step, simple presentation. It is about to present it is about to show what you have done to others, and if the UI design meets the need, it comes to the step 4. But when it doesn't, you should go back to step 1. And as for the step 4 and the step 5, it is about making the application come to realistic. It is about programming, and you should connect different database. And as for step 6, it is about the compatibility of the software. And as for as we are concerned, we should make it compatible for OS system and Android system. And after software development, we should test and debugging the application to make it work successfully. And it comes to the step 2, the project delivery. If we outsource our application to some company, they should deliver it to us by letting us test the application. And step 4 is online operation and promotion. Step 3 is online operation and promotion. Step 4 is routine maintenance. It is about when we put the application into the market, it is our responsibility to make sure it works successfully. And as for our price, there are 2 ways for us to make this application come to realistic. The first way is to outsource the program. So the price is determined by the software function, the specific company, and the number of target groups. And the other way is do it by ourselves. And I think we can make students majoring market in computer, in electronic communication to cooperate to complete the project and get paid. So our income is advertisement. So when you browse the application, there sometimes the advertisement bumps out. And as for our place, users can go to the mobile app store to download or download from the official website. These 2 channels can connect with each other. So both ways are proper. As for our promotion, our target, just to make it clear, our target group is college students, but we want to start with college students from USUST and Fujian Catholic University. So it's just the school we are familiar with. It is convenience for us to promote the application to students that used to that is our friend, our schoolmate. And when we think about how to promotion, I think we can post our advertisement in some official media, and we can just we can just let our friend use it and get some feedback from them. And yeah, if we want to design the software by ourselves, we need to have a scheduler. And Baxter already mentioned this. We have to make sure that 50 to 60 days we are gonna to complete this software. And this is our scheduler. Baxter already mentioned this. That's all. Thank you.
So hello everyone, this is Group 2. I'm moving with Rita, Sandy, and Dali. We're here to tell you about our plan for addressing this problem of how can educational equality be more achievable in Taiwan. So let's look at our vision. This is actually from the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, education. It says, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote life learning opportunity for all. So we hope after this plan of helping improve the education asymmetry between rural and urban, we can make Taiwan's education more equitable and inclusive. So let's start from the background. How we found this problem and why is it a problem? So in Taiwan, there's actually an unbalanced distribution of education resources between either rural and urban area or rural and rural area. We think that this is caused by the information asymmetry. So let me explain more about it. In these few years, there are actually many people and organizations try to help the rural school by donate resources or funds. However, the way they choose which school to give is really random. And this causes two problems. The first is there's some rural school never had the chance to get the resources. And the second is there's some schools have too many resources, and that is probably not what they actually need. And because of the pandemic, this problem become more serious, and more schools have been discovered that that lack of a lot of resources. So let me share a recent news in Nantou, Taiwan, which is in the middle of Taiwan. So the director of the education office of Nantou County, they created the first YouTube and FB teaching broadcast version, which can not just like reduce the burden of teachers recording courses or live teaching, but it's also save the use of the internet bandwidth. And also it's only require mobile phone to watch. But even so, there's a school called Lushan Elementary School in Nantou, and also it's in a really mountain area. So most of their students, there's around 50 students, do not have computer or iPad at home. So they can only rely on their parents' mobile phones to participate in online learning. But some parents' mobile phones are having a really bad internet, or they just don't have like really stable internet, or they can't access to internet. So their children have to go to classmates' home for studying. And what the school say is they actually request the hardware support from the education department, but they don't know how long it will take until they finish the procurement process. So this is actually a really common problem in most of the rural area. So because of this, we have our problem statement here, and we're going to focus on we're going to start from the nearby school which is Xinyi Primary School in Nantou. And we're also only focus on one resources. Start from one resources, which is a laptop, because I think right now during this pandemic, laptops, these kind of devices become a really important role in students' learning. So in our problem statement, we are starting from this primary school, Xingyi Primary School, and to make use of a crowdfunding platform to create campaigns that spread awareness in the urban area and collect the information of demand and supplies to source such resources in next 6 months to address this problem. So let's see what we can do and what we think could be the solution and what we're going to do. So first of all, we want to create a nonprofit student organization so we can have a more clear structure and more clear purpose on what we're going to do and what we will do. And second, we will start from contacting with one school, which is Xingyi Primary School. And we're going to use crowdfunding platform first before we have our website. And then at the same time, we're creating our information exchange website for sharing of for collaborate with more and more rural schools and help them to find the people who can give them resources. And also we were doing promotion for future use and to expand our organization and to help more and more school. So next, Deli will talk more about the detail of this solution. So Deli.
Okay, thank you for Wu. So basically, based on Wu's introduction, we have already know something about like what is the existing problem and what are the possible solutions that we want to take to solve those problems. So basically, there are two main directions that we want to focus on during the 6 months. So the first would be the cooperation process, which means that we are cooperating with Xingyi Primary School in Nantou City. So basically, the tasks that we would try to do and finish would be mentioned in that process. And secondly, we do not want to make that kind of cooperation only exist or lost for 6 months. We want to make it a continuous one. Therefore, after the cooperation with Xingyi Primary School, we also want to extend to some kind of degree with other campus or university or primary school, elementary school in the rural areas, so that to make the educational equality more achievable. So now I would like to give you a basic introduction of the collaboration process, that what we might do during that process. So we will mainly focus on these two parts. The first is marketing, which is promotion, like includes the online one and offline one. So as for the details, later Sandy will give you a detailed explanation. And the second aspect that we also want to pay enough attention to is resources transportation. So this means that we do not want to, like today, if someone want to donate the resources like laptops, but how to track those resources and how to ensure that these laptops do bring to the rural areas. So that is also one thing that we want to focus on. So I believe till now you have a brief impression, or at least have a brief understanding of what we want to do during the cooperation process. And now let's invite Sandy for us to give us more details.
Hi, I'm Sandy, and thank Uving and Daily. And I'm going to talk about how to collaborate with people in urban area. And we classify the promotion into two parts. First is online promotion and another is offline promotion. First of all, there are two ways, social media and social cycle. Due to the development of the internet, it's convenient for us to search for more donation information online. Therefore, we decide to create an Instagram account and Facebook fan page at beginning. As we mentioned in the slides, as we mentioned in the slide, there are more younger people who use Instagram. That is, we can post more articles to attract and recruit our target audience who is also college student. And on the other hand, we may post more information of donating money or laptops to those whom is willing to donate these things on Facebook. And the next one is to reach out to our social cycle, which means that we can introduce the organization to the people we know and ask for their help, no matter it's about money or laptops. And moreover, they can also post this kind of information on their own social media account to create a bigger and positive impact on their society. And another way is offline promotion, and which is doing some activities because we want to hold forums that is not only introduce what we do, but find the people what we want after these activities. Therefore, we'll make flyers, and which included useful information to spread to the people who are interested in our organization. And what's more, the flyer can not only send to the people who don't have time to participate in the forum on time, but also the people who miss the information before can follow up the latest information as well to influence more and more people. And not only we can make flyers, but hold forums to generalize what we are doing and what the people we are looking for. We'll find volunteers who live near our city and college students, because that's an easier way to start or discuss the problem of our organization. Then we can meet and work frequently. And the reason why we want to use online and offline promotion to collaborate with the urban people is that we also want to encourage the people who who try hard to contribute something to the rural area but they don't have money. So how many laptops and how much we receive can be seen as a successful solution that Rita explained to us clearly.
Sure. So we are thinking about how can we measure the success of after the 6 months. So first, we will separate it into two parts. The first is quantification, and the other is qualification. The quantify the rate of coverage of technical devices that students in rural areas have. So, for example, if before the campaign there is only 30% of students having laptop to do online learning, then after these 6 months, it becomes there are 50 or 60 or even higher percentage of students having a laptop. So that we think the campaign works. And the next one is qualification. Yes, we would like to carry out the survey and interview with faculties and students in rural area to get the feedback from them to see if their learning and studying experiences are improved or not. So, and from the perspectives of them, we can see how can we better and optimize the process and the channel strategies to promote and to make the efficiency more better. So let's have Daily to discuss more about the following steps to take.
Okay, thank you, Sandy, and thank you, Rita. So basically, I believe through their introduction and also instruction, we do have like various understanding on like what would be done during the process, no matter the online one or the offline one. And we also know the standard that we want to know how to measure the success that during these 6 months. We want to see the improvement. We want to make it visible. And actually, since we don't want to stay only in these 6 months, we want to extend its influence. We want to make its impact bigger. Therefore, after the cooperation with Xinyi Primary School, we would also do something to have further cooperation with other schools. So basically, the first step would be absolutely receiving those feedbacks through like the interview and service done by us to the students and faculties, which Rita has already mentioned. And we also want to do a reflection on the progress and also maybe some limitation that we may not have conquered during the process. And secondly, we would also do the regular tracking listing for half to 1 year. So we want to make the progress that the influence exists and rather than easily passed away. So last but not least, since we want to extend the influence, so basically we would try to encourage more cooperation with other schools through our channel and website. So these are the instructions for the things that we want to do and decided to do during these 6 months. And here is the timeline for this project. And there are 3 main parts of this kind of timeline. But to make it easier to understand, we decided to make it into a straight line. So which is this timeline. So basically during August, we would started to contact the Xinyi Primary School, and nearly half of the month, we would started to build up the website and channel. Because once the connection between us get built up, we can know more about what kind of demand that they need, what amount of laptops that they exactly need. And after this kind of setting up process, we will started to do the promotion and also marketing during September and October. And after these 2 months, basically we would started to do some tracking of the resources, especially the laptops. But if today someone who may not have enough laptops, but they want to donate maybe fundings, that is possible. We would also create some programs for them to do so. So after this, we would continue working on improving of the website and channel. We want to make it a better user experience for the Xinyi Primary School. So during the last 2 months, we would mainly focus on the feedback and reflection process through the interview and survey done with the students and faculties. So in the last months, beyond the last months, we want to encourage more further cooperation with other rural schools. So I know the core message that we want to say today is we believe with more and more joint efforts with students, volunteers, and other social institutions, and also the rural areas and urban areas, if we could focus more on improving the educational equality of the resources and try to distribute these resources in a fair and more equal way, then we would possibly make the situation better. So why not do it together? We can make the situation better. And this is the end of our presentation.
Good morning, everyone, and good evening, those in the United States. We are the Group 1, and our focus is on reduce the suicide rate and depression cases among teenagers in Taiwan. Next slide, please. So this is our team. I'm the leader, I'm Hussein, and I'm in charge of overall organizing the work and the contact, and I'm also doing communication between members and teachers, and also do the data checking and case checking from the resource they provided. And second one is Andy, our assistant. He's making sure that everything is on right track and give constructive feedback. And third one, Angelique, she's doing data research and data analyze. She did a pretty good job. And she also do the PPT design, logistic part. And then the fourth one is Akira. She cannot be here, unfortunately, but she did contribute on the part of data research and case research. Last but not least, well, is our data researcher and case researcher and PPT designer, art design. All the art you see right now are decided by hand. Next slide, please. So what is our problem? Our problem is that the suicide rate in New Taipei City, Taiwan, among the age group of 15 to 19 has been rising from the duration 2001 to 2020 due to mental health issue. We choose good health and well-being, which is one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. We have a plan to raise awareness through YouTube channels, podcasts, social media platforms, and also conduct workshops to address this issue in the school. Next slide, please. So before going to what we're gonna do, we need to understand what's our problem. So we need to analyze it. So while doing research and then case study, newspaper reading, we find out that, well, people are really going to do suicide. And what cause, what reason? So we found that there are lots of reasons involved. So we have hypothesis that pressure from different sources are the reason why students commit suicide. And those are four categories that we are going to mainly focus on, which first, peer pressure. Peer pressure can be distinguished, can be more specific on relationship and competition. Relationship refers to the overall relationship that students have with each other. Either it's healthy, toxic, or it's a bullying relationship. And the next one is competition. So it's very common that people competing with each other in a negative way to the giving other pressures and giving other unnecessarily mental pressure. Yeah. And the second one is parent pressure. Because in a highly competitive environment, all the parents only think best for their children. So some of them would develop a extremely high expectation and high standard. Like one of my friend was beaten up because he didn't get a full mark. What's one mark he got? He got a 99. So in 1 mark off, and he got beaten up. Next one is academic pressure. So most important thing in Taiwan now is going to college, have a good life, have a good job. So college entry exam is particularly more important than other thing. So this is a main cause and reason why students have a lot of pressure because they want to go to good university. And because of that, everyone wants to go to the good university. So there are lots of competition and people competing with each other and maybe cheating or like talking bad on others' back that can involve in the pressure. And other pressures like illness and finance is not significant but worth to talk about, so we'll put it here. And next slide, Angeli will talk about the data.
Okay, thank you, Hasoon. I am Angeli, and now I am going to talk about some data which can prove our problem statement. In this first chart is the age distribution of the number of people reporting suicide from January to November in New Taipei City, Taiwan in 2020. The suicide number among 15 to 19 years old was the highest, which shows that teenagers in high school have the highest rate of suicide compared to other groups. And this makes us want to dig deeper to understand what reasons cause those teenagers choose to off themselves. So let's see the second chart. And the second chart was made from 2019 Suicide Prevention Annual Reports. Among all the reports, the top 3 highly reported incidents are mental health, which is 48.5%. Relationship 47.4%, and finance 7.4%. Dig deeper on the reason of suicide incident individually. Family conflict take a massive proportion in relationship category, taking the total of 19.5%. And the major issue in the category of mental health is depression, which takes up to 40.9%. So previously, Husun has told us that we think the main reasons lead to suicide are pressure from peer, parents, and academic, and so on. And with the data, it shows that the main reasons are relationship and mental illness, especially from family conflict and depression. Thus, through the annual reports, now we can clearly understand that lots of schoolers who commit suicide had suffered from family issue and mental illness. But due to lots of misinformation and misclaim on mental issues, that lead to students don't know how or afraid of asking for help, and at the end result in tragedies. And this is not only showing in data, there are also lots of real cases we can hear from news. So next, Will is going to introduce two cases in Taiwan.
Okay, thank you, Anjali. So I'm Will. So simply looking through the data, perhaps most of you cannot feel the seriousness of the current situation in Taiwan and how trivial matters could lead people to death. Therefore, we found two real cases to support our data and show you the facts. So both of the cases below all happened in New Taipei City. And the one on your left-hand side reports a 15-year-old girl who studied in the most prestigious high school in Taipei, jumping off from the 14th floor rooftop and died. From the note left in her backpack, the police suppose that she committed suicide due to academic pressure. The other news also happened in New Taipei City, but the reason that caused the tragedy may make you surprised. The death was a 14-year-old high school student. He jumped off from the rooftop after having a dispute with his parents over the confiscation of his iPhone 6. However, the police looked into his Facebook afterwards and found that he had been suffering from peer pressure for a period. Within these cases, we have found something in common. So first of all, students, parents, and teachers all report to the police that they didn't find anything abnormal on students' behavior and have no idea why they made such decisions. Besides, what triggers students committing suicide involve not only one reason, but the trivial things accumulated in their daily life. And I'm going to pass on my mic to Anjali.
Okay, thank you, Will. So after having data and the real cases, we believe that people have to be more aware of and try to understand more about the mental issue. So I would like to introduce our action plan. Our goal is to increase public awareness of knowledge on mental health. We decide to establish a club in high school. We decide to have this club in Xinzhuang High School in New Taipei City. Yeah. And our project name is I Care, You Care, or ICUC as abbreviation. Husun, would you like to elaborate the meaning of the name?
Thank you. I'm now going to talk about the meaning of the name. So the reason why we use I care, you care is that we care about our peer. We care about what things happen around us, and we want to invite you to care about this. And the abbreviated ICUC can also be pronounced as ICUC. So we see, I see those things happen to us, to our peer, and I want to change it. And I want you to see that this is actually happening, and I want you to see how we change it and how can we change it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Husun. It's really a nice name. So in our club, we will have 4 departments. Before establishing the club, we will also contact with the school student counseling center to get insight and ask for internal help while conducting the project. So first is counseling department. In this department, members will undergo trainings directed by the school student counseling center to learn some basic counseling skills. And after the trainings, The department will still be monitored and instructed by 2 teachers and counselors from the Student Counseling Center. Also, they have to build up lesson plans for each session. Second, Public Relations Department. Members here are responsible for promoting the club, organizing workshops, and inviting speakers outside the campus. For example, they have to take charge of connecting the NGOs to support the club and provide professional suggestions. Regarding the workshop, they have to confirm where and when the workshop will be held, and the instructors, if any, before the new semester starts. Also, when the workshop is around the corner, they have to make sure how many students are going to attend. Third, volunteering department. In this part, members are responsible for recruiting students outside the club who also want to engage in the club's activity and counseling. And the last, student representatives. We hope that each class could elect a representative who will be going to help the club notice if there are any emotionally disturbed students and make contact with them, so they can easily reach out for help whenever they are in need. And this is our action plan. Then Hussein will talk about our events and activities.
Thank you very much. And now I'm going to talk about what we're going to do in this club. So first of all, we think with our own help, we cannot make a sufficient and effective impact. So we need some external help. So we want to help run few professional workshops. So the workshop will be conducted by local therapists, by John Tong Foundation, and counselor from local counseling center. Topics should be, but not limited to, mental health issue, give professional advice and suggestion, awareness of signaling, and how to seek help. And the workshop should be delivered bi-weekly and cooperating with local counseling center and student counseling center as well. And second thing is tea time. And why tea time is important? Because tea time is an after-school activity that aims to give students a time to relax and chat with peers. In counseling center, with provided tea and food that will be free. And by the time that student is talking, counselor can also join the conversation to see what happened around students and what to do next step forward with students. Because from the casual conversation, we can observe what things are going on campus. Of course, this will not be a mandatory activity. That will be optional. If you want to, come on. And next one is important because it's peer mentoring. So what is a peer mentor? Peer mentors are a group of students that will be a student representative in this case, who was elected or volunteered by each class that will be helping other students in the class as a normal counselor. Their job are observing potential incident and signal that and to listen to what their student need and actively to seek student who seems to be trouble to talk to make them relax and make them reduce their stress. And all peer mentor must receive proper training in student counseling center before start peer mentoring. That's important because we want all the students to have proper skill to talk and to listen, not giving silly advice that can mislead others, right? And next one is that peer mentor needs to meet with counselor at least once a month to make sure they have emotional well-being. Because after receiving so much attention and emotion that from others, we want to make sure that all the peer mentors have a good well-being and good health as well. We're not excluding them because their contribution. And next one will be social media platforms. So we are planning to have created a YouTube channel as mentioned that will be used to connecting with our next category, role-playing act. So how can we do that? We're gonna make some scripts that is related to daily thing that can happen, and then related to mental issue and emotional issue, and also some mental information we want to spread those information through easy way, relaxing way that people can enjoy watching it and learn something at the same time. That's the most effective way of learning from my perspective. And also we're gonna have a Facebook page to promote our YouTube channel and our activity. And the target audience will be adults in this case, because as the research shows that more adults tend to use Facebook than Instagram. And we'll also have an Instagram page to spread awareness and correct information, and have some workshop there as well, to have live video as well to communicate with Instagram user. And Instagram user will be mainly teenager student and those from generation X, Y, and Z. So that would be helpful to spread information. Yeah. And the last but not least, we would have a LinkedIn project to work on to attract those sponsors and those who are interested and volunteer to help us to promote our project and our act. So we will let more people to see that I care and I want them to care. Next slide will be my part as well. Will's part, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So the two organizations below are whom we are gonna cooperate with in the future. So the one on your left-hand side is a non-governmental organization founded by a Chinese enterpriser in 1984. And the other one is a section under the Education Department of New Taipei City. So both of them provide the schools with counseling professionals, trainings, emergency assistants, and speakers who give speeches at school. So we hope that after the club was established, we would be serving as a coordinator who makes contact with the organizations and represent the school to invite the speakers to the campus. So I will pass my mic to Husun again.
Thank you very much. And this is our timeline. I will briefly talk about what we're gonna do. What's the main job to do here? So from the first month and two, it's a preparation stage. So we're gonna recruit people, and then we are going to contact with school and local counselor to seek help, to see if they are willing to help us. And progress reviews will be conducted in the end of first month and two to see what's our progress and is it okay to move on to next stage. And next stage is finalizing stage, which is month 3. In this stage, we are going to finalize everything and establish the club and start our skill training and start to do workshop with peer, local counselor and faculty in the school. And the monthly review will be conducted in the end of the month to see if there are any improvement and concerns. And to the 4th month working stage, we're gonna have an improvement report from the month 3. So in this improvement report, we will see what we're gonna do and how can we do better. And we will, in this month particularly, we will start to do our promotion to let others to spend their resources, send the resources to our project to enhance the ability and quality of our project. And also monthly training will be conducted to make student, faculty, counselor to get ready for the work. And the monthly review will be conducted. Month 5, improving stage. It's a month that is crucial here. We're gonna collect overall feedback internally from our faculty members and students and the school and counselor to see overall impact that we have done so far and what could do better, what could do more, what activity can we go do, what activity should be improved. And we will work on the improvement in this month, and the monthly training and monthly review will be conducted. And last month, evaluating stage. So in this month, we are going to do the final review of overall progress from the start to the end and to reflect what we have done so far and what impact we have done and what can we done more. And then project evaluation will be conducted by giving out surveys to both internally and externally with all the organizations that we have cooperate with and students in the school and faculty member, student, and counselor in our school. And then the last part is future development and plan and future implement. We will see if this project is mature enough to be spread out to other school and other community. And I will talk more in the next slide. Next slide, please. So implement and improvement. On the implement perspective, what implement, how? So first question I'm gonna answer is that what and how. So what to implement? So we cannot just copy paste everything we do in the school to other school, because there are other cultural differences, school environment, and other pressure, other consideration as well. So we need to do modification according to the school and according to the target audience we are going to have. And how to implement, we are going to, because of the promotion, we hope because of promotion, we can gain some fan and lots of people will get to know us, and we'll proactively to contact with those schools if they need our project to be established in their school, so we can get stronger, get bigger, get faster, to help to reducing the suicide rate and mental pressure, mental illness, and mental issue among the teenagers. And when and where? When we're gonna do it after the project evaluation, because we cannot bring an imperfect prototype to other school. That would cause maybe more negative impact in our reputation as well. And where we want to spread all around the Taiwan island first, and then we see if it's mature enough to spread to other country. Improvement. On the part, what to improve, right? So after receiving the feedback and then evaluation, we need to make a detail on what to improve, how, and then we will make modification, of course, according to school. And then first of all, we need to see what senior high school feel about this project, and then do the further improvement. And then next slide will be success measure that Will is going to talk about.
Okay,
next slide, please.
Okay, so within these 6 months, we hope to achieve these 6 goals below. So for the social media, we hope that we could gain 1,000 followers on Facebook, Instagram, and also LinkedIn, and reach 10,000 views on YouTube. Besides, we would finish running 3 workshops during the semester and make 2 episodes of podcasts per month on Spotify. And lastly, at the end of the semester, we would ask those students who have engaged in our club and activities to do the evaluation so that we can know which part needs to be improved. So I will turn my mic to my leader. Next slide, please.
Hello? To the future improvement part. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So for future improvement after the program, after 6 months, what we're gonna do? First of all, we're gonna make a budget plan and membership plan, because when spreading out to other community, other environment, we need to larger our circle, larger our workers and volunteers as well. The member or the population of our group need to be increased, and therefore there might be some extra costs that we didn't think we cannot afford. So we will think about how about membership plan to maybe gain some profit from our donation. Talking about donation, we're going to plan on getting online donation from GoFundMe.com and Zezé.com, which is a good online foundation donation that we can get through our act. I see, you see. I care, you care. So lastly, we want to develop an application for the most updated awareness and the most experienced professional that can give help in anytime, anywhere, and anyhow. And that's our future plan. Next slide is our site. Next slide. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Maybe it's a little laggy.
It's okay. It's beautiful.
So we just, okay, next slide will be the citation part. We just want you to see our citation, like we use online resources, and then those are their credits. And thank you for listening. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your time.